Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I look so pasty. I'm sorry, but this is the intro that you're getting today. So I want to go over the stuff that I got at the Sephora VIB sale for spring. I must have the slowest shipping in the universe. I swear everyone else gets their boxes way before me. It takes Sephora like over a week to get everything to me. I'm not in a remote area or anything like that. I didn't go crazy this year, less so than like last year even, or the last time they did the VIB sale. So it's a fairly small box. I thought it would be fun to just go through the stuff that I got and try it all on. I didn't get a full face, so I started some of my makeup, as you can see. This is my foundation, my eyes, and I threw on my nearly natural eyeshadow palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. This literally arrived today. I ordered this in the last week of February. They are based out of Australia, but that's so long. That's literally 60 days that it took to ship this. And I did purchase this when it was like the restock came back. So anyway, that is what I have on my eyes. Let's just jump right into the stuff that I got at the Sephora sale. Guys, I'm so sorry for the pasty intro. I didn't get any like new foundation or anything, but I did get a new concealer. This is like a fairly new release. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get it. Then I'm like, I'm gonna get it. And I'm not gonna get it. And then the sale, so, you know, I got it. But anyway, so I wanna try that concealer on. So I don't have that on. I just have like really dark eyeshadow and a pretty pale like skin tint. Okay, so let's go over the boring stuff. I just re-upped on my kale and green tea face wash from Youth to the People. I'm basically addicted to this one at this point. I get the big size just because, I don't know, I think it makes more sense to go like the larger size. And I always try and like wait for the sale to pick this up. I have heard like some people say, you know, people with dry skin, it's a little bit drying. And I have experienced that before. Like I do think it dries out my face, definitely. But I go in with a moisturizer or a mask like immediately after I wash my face. So I never feel like it's dry after that. And because my skin is so clear now, like where I've always battled acne pretty much my whole life, I attribute some of that to this, so I won't switch. Like now I'm hooked. Now I think that part of the reason I'm experiencing clear skin, I mean, not only just because of my age and, you know, eventually the acne had to go away, but I attribute some of that to this. So I'm addicted to this. I think it's really good. I don't get like any irritation from it whatsoever, ever. It's not like intermittent. It just doesn't happen anymore. So I love this, and I re-up on this. This stays in my loves list on Sephora so that like when there's a sale, I always pick up one. And I was getting low, so it works out perfectly. Another thing that I have had in my loves list for a while that I absolutely love is the lip mask from ILIA. You guys, I have to say, I know, and I don't know if this is like unpopular opinion, but the Laneige lip mask, not my favorite. It's a really, really thin formula, and I never find that it hydrates my lips. Like I put it on at night and I'm like, the next morning, I don't feel like it does anything. So I'm not a huge fan of Laneige lip mask. Sorry Laneige. And I have never heard anyone dislike that lip mask, but this one is literally my absolute favorite from ILIA. It's really the only like product from ILIA that I love. I think it's so thick and so hydrating. Oh, we're gonna put it on right now. And I feel like this one, for whatever reason, like really stands out above other lip masks that I've used. You know, I just think I like a thicker formula, honestly. I think that I don't want like that really thin formula that Laneige offers. I prefer something more textured, and I think that like gives more hydration. The thing with the ILIA one is that it does have like flower extract in it, and so you do kind of get that like scent to it just a little bit, whereas you don't. Like Laneige usually comes in kind of like a fruity flavor, or, you know, they come in different flavors, and so they're slightly appealing, whereas this one is clean beauty. Like it's much more natural, but it's just thick. It's really my favorite. It's the one that I feel like I've noticed a difference when I wake up in the morning. There's this one and like another one that's just some off-brand that I find are my absolute favorite that actually show me results. I keep the Laneige one, but man, it's almost like painful getting through it. I know that's probably unpopular opinion, but it is what it is. I have talked about this before, but these lashes from Lilly Lashes, these are the half lashes, and they're the butterfly eyes. Like these are my favorite lashes currently They're about the size of my whole eye. I'm not gonna put this on today, but I did pick more of these up. These do retail for $20 normally, so when there's a sale, I usually try and grab some because I really, really like those. But the reason that we're not gonna put those on today is because I picked up something that I've been eyeing for a while, which is the Clean Mascara from Caliray. I love all of Caliray products that I've tried so far. So this is the Come Hell or High Water mascara, and I actually think this one Allure Best of Beauty for 2022. So it had to come home. Sale, you get it. I picked up the Very Valentino concealer. This was one that was like in my cart, out of my cart, in my cart, out of my cart, blah. The other one that was in my cart, out of my cart was the new Quickie concealer from Urban Decay. Then for my new releases, I picked up 3 blushes. So Sephora just came out with their like more shades and their colorful blushes. I got one in the matte version and then one in the shimmer version. So I thought that was cool, like a good variety. But yeah, these are new releases. And then the other new release was the Luminous Silk Glow Blush from Giorgio Armani. I'm so excited. You guys, their cream blush is one of my favorite formulas. So super thrilled to test out the powder formula. Look at that shade. Ooh, that's not gonna match today, boy. Oh well. Anyway, we're gonna try that on. And this is a cheat, like I have this and I wanna try this on in today's video. You can get LYS in Sephora, but this is their bronzer stick. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell, so let's get into the concealer. Since we have 2 concealers, we're gonna do one on each eye. The Quickie one we'll do on the left side. I have mine in the shade 30NN Light Neutral. That is usually what I go for. This is a really, oh my God, look how chubby this thing is. I knew it was big, but it's big. Like, is this like a foundation? How much product is in here? Holy smokes. It's 0.55 fluid ounces. In my comparison, the one from Valentino is 0.2. Okay, so yeah, it's more than double the size of the other one that was more money. Well, yeah, it's the way it goes. Anyway, I think this is a doe foot applicator, if I'm correct. Just a chunka thing. Yeah. And then it gives you a little sponge or a brush maybe. Like, yeah, it's a brush on this end here that you can blend it in with. I think we'll try it. We might as well. I'm gonna swatch it. It's kind of hard to tell what like the formula is gonna be. It doesn't feel overly thick. We're going in. Ooh, not the greatest smell though. Like it has a scent to it for sure that's makeup-y. Yeah, it almost doesn't smell good. All right, we're gonna use this guy and we're gonna blend in or pounce in. I don't know. Oh my gosh, does this dry like super fast? What is happening? It's almost like stabbing me in the eye. Can you guys like see my eye is like watering from this brush? I don't like the brush. I'm gonna skip it. Plus I think this formula dries really quickly. So I was kind of like bouncing it into Nothingville. It wasn't moving very well and I was having to get pretty rough. My left eye is my darker eye. So I always feel like it takes a little bit more to conceal this. I believe this is supposed to be a full coverage concealer. So it says up to 24-hour long wear, waterproof and transfer resistant, quick fix full coverage. Okay, so you can retouch it. Lightweight formula, blendable and non-greasy, vitamin E infused all day hydration. It actually does feel slightly hydrating. I don't think it's like full coverage though. I always say that because like when I can see my darkness peeking through, I mean, even the little bit that I put on still felt like it was the normal amount that I would normally put on. I immediately want to refute the full coverage claim the minute it doesn't cover the full darkness on this eye. But also, I have like hollow under eyes, and so like, you know, the concealer itself has to be like kind of a filling, almost like silicone-y formula in order to kind of conceal or do justice on my hollow under eyes. That looks better. Yeah, it looks better when I built it up. The problem is I feel that it's much heavier. Like I can almost like just see it sitting on my skin now. So I don't know. As we finish applying all the makeup, we will see if it creases because usually by the end of the video, it'll crease if it's gonna crease. I have heard a lot of people say like they have really liked it even with dry skin. So, you know, we'll see. We're moving on into the Very Valentino concealer now, this little guy. This one says all day light lasting. Covering concealer. All day hydration, long lasting and light feel. This is formula is infused with our Aroma Light Complex for a radiant finish. This one is also in light neutral 2 or just also light neutral, but their shade happens to be 2. Look how small this is. It's so teeny tiny. little baby doe foot applicator. That one almost looks like yellow, doesn't it? Doesn't it look a little bit on the yellow side, or peach or something? Like, it's not fully neutral. And it's actually pretty light for being light neutral. We're bouncing it in. I don't know about the radiant finish necessarily, and I don't think this claims to be full coverage. It's not, but I like the fact that it's lightweight, or more lightweight than the Urban Decay Quickie one, because I want something that makes my under eyes like super hydrated so I look like even younger as the day goes on. Some of my favorite concealers end up looking even more flattering as the day goes on, and I just don't know how they do that, but they're formulated with such hydrating properties. I don't think either one of these is overly hydrating, even this one that claims to be more radiant. But of course, we're gonna keep going and we'll see if these bad boys crease. I already feel like the Urban Decay one is starting to do it. I just powdered under my eyes, or set under my eyes to set the concealer to see, like, is that gonna help? Is that gonna help at all? I'm going to go into the No Limits Cream Bronzer from LYS. You know, this one is in the shade medium. And I got it in a BoxyCharm, which by the way, I just canceled. And the first one that they sent me was in medium, but it was broken. So I contacted them and I was like, hey, yo, your entire product, look, it just snapped just now. This is the cheapest packaging I've literally seen in a long time. Okay, good to know. Anyway, the whole product was like smashed into the top of this, and this wouldn't go down, the bronzer stick wouldn't go down, so I had to push it down with my finger. And then when I contacted them, I was like, yeah, I don't know where you got medium from. Like, I'm sure in the quiz I said that I was light. Like, I don't think I would have gotten that wrong. And then she was like, well, I'll send you another one. And then I was like, well, no, don't, because this is in medium. And then she was like, but you'll love it, just give it a shot. And I'm like, well, but it's in medium. And it wasn't just this that was sent broken, it was like one of the highlighters that they sent. But then when this came today, it's also like smashed into the top. So just a little piece on the top got broken. It's not a huge deal, but it's like, check your freaking products before you send them, and then you might not have to like return them. So I'm gonna go in very lightly because it is such a dark shade, and because I wanna test this formula, I'm gonna go for it because I don't want it to go to waste at this point. This is making such a hot mess. Like, this product doesn't even go down. I just smashed it into the freaking thing. I'm gonna bounce it in with my sponge. It's definitely too deep of a shade for me, but maybe I can make it work. I don't know, I can powder over it. I just would hate to let a cream bronzer go to waste. Honestly, I feel like I hate to let any bronzer go to waste, and that's why sometimes I end up keeping bronzers in my collection that aren't the best shade for me, that aren't super flattering, or that I just end up having to work a little bit harder to make work for me, because I hate to admit that a bronzer shade doesn't work. I don't know what my problem is. Do any of you guys ever feel like that? Especially with cream bronzers, it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, no, this will work. Like, you must work. Because you like the formula so much, you just want it to work so badly. I don't know, that's how I am with cream bronzers. It gets a little ridiculous because there's so many good formulas out there that, you know, why? Don't marry yourself to a bad shade. It's just not worth it. Okay, if I go in super lightly and then I powder over it, it's nice. Dude, my hair is driving me bonkers. Please hold. Okay, I just put clips in my hair. My hair was literally flying all over the place because of the fan. Anyway, when I put powder over top of it, like, it actually does look pretty good. I don't think it looks too dark or too bad, but it is a lot of extra work. So am I gonna love doing that? I don't know, maybe. It was a really nice formula. Okay, which blush should we go into? Like, I can't try all three of these on, so should we go into the shimmer one that looks like this? Because it's more like this shade, and then so we could be like matchy-matchy, even though this is really the color I should wear with my eyeshadow look. Yeah, I don't always plan things the best. It's just the way it is, okay? You guys won't judge me, right? This is a safe zone here, right? Little tiny shimmers, not a whole lot. By the way, this one is in the shade 49, which is called Shine Bright. I don't know. It's not an overly like creamy powder formula. The shimmers are basically like teeny tiny sparkles. That's literally what they're like. All right, let's open this other one. this more mauve-y shade. This one is in 52. This is called Self-Made. If I ever picked up colors that I like, that I think complement me enough on like a purchase, these two would be it. A more corally shade and then a mauve-ier shade. Both of these, I have no regrets instantly of the shade that I picked up. This one actually feels a little bit creamier, a little bit bouncier of a formula than the more orangey one. Inside's pretty much the same, it's just matte. So here's this mauve shade. All right, let's pause and look at this concealer. Nothing overly creasing, and honestly, if I was gonna say anyone was doing anything just yet, it would be that the Valentino one was getting a little bit creasy, and not the 2 layers of the Urban Decay one. I don't know, that's just how it appears so far. Last but not least on my blushes, this one from Giorgio Armani is in the shade 30. I don't exactly know what it's described as online, but it's like a corally shade. I am most excited to try this because their cream blush that they launched, the Neo Nude Color Balm something, I can't remember, was such a good formula, and it ended up being one of my favorites that I have ever tried. Like altogether, all around favorite blush cream formula, because it was like you could drag the swatch all the way down your arm. Pigmentation was wild. Look how much more airbrushing this one looks than the Sephora one. It diffuses out so nicely. I am already gonna love this formula. Giorgio Armani, I think, does a tremendous job with basically every one of their products. I don't think I've tried any from Giorgio Armani, I just like stuck my finger in it, that I have not liked. I feel that way about Gucci like a little bit, but I think Armani like Beauty does it better. So anyway, let's go in. I'm just gonna use my Soft Pinch blush brush from Rare Beauty. You guys, it already looks like I've spent a ton of time blending this. And I literally bounced it 4 times, okay? All right, you know what? I take it back. Urban Decay is starting to make me look like an old lady under my eyes. Like all the way to my crow's feet out here. I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing here. Anyway, but do you see like just how airbrushing it looks around the edges? That it did the work for me. Like the formulation did the work for me. Could I blend it more? Like, absolutely. Do you need to? Not if you like a lot of blush, you don't. And I do, so. Like I said, please do not judge that I paired like the wrong color blush when it should have been this one. It's just the way it goes. I had to try my Giorgio Armani, and if I was gonna get like a lot of use out of it, it was gonna need to be like an orangey shade, because this is what I like. I do like, not to say that I don't like this shade, because I really, really do. It's just, I don't know, I end up reaching for orangey blushes a lot. Now, since I've cleaned off this brush, let's go into the Sephora one. I like it. It's nice. It's obviously not as pigmented as this side, because I'm putting my brush in at like the same pressure. This one is also very beautiful. Also looks sort of diffusing. It's nice. There's no real shimmer detected. It's a glitter. It's a tiny, tiny glitter. It's not like infused with shimmer particles or anything. It's basically infused with gold glitter. And that's exactly how it looks on the swatch. This is also beautiful, like, but clearly you can see this one is definitely more pigmented than this one, but they almost have like the same effect. This is a deeper shade though too. You know, the colorful mattes that they came out with, the Sephora collection, were good and everyone got all giddy about them. I don't think that I liked them actually as much as I like this formula. I mean, so far I've only tried one, but I feel like that this formula was more pigmented, more blendable, and more airbrush looking than the other colorful mattes from Sephora. So these new launches, I prefer more. Shall we move on to the last product, which is the mascara? I think I'm just gonna skip highlighter. Why not? I'm so excited. Caliray is all clean beauty, all sustainably packaged. Anyway, this is Come Hell or High Water mascara, and I think this is supposed to be zero smudge, volumizing, and curling. So not necessarily meant to be a lengthening formula. You guys, this weighs like nothing. This is one of the lightest feeling mascaras I've ever picked up. It actually has kind of a basic standard kind of wand that you might see in the drugstore. Doesn't mean anything. The one from Tower 28 is also very unassuming. Right eye. We're going in the right eye first. Here we go. My hair is legit flying everywhere today. Like, you cannot be doing this right now. Mascara time, okay? Okay, what do you guys think? Do you see the difference? Boop, 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 boop. The thing with me and mascaras is that, like, volumizing is great. I still like it to provide length. I like it to be a really, really pigmented formula because my lashes are so thin that you don't really see them, I think, like, at all when I don't have mascara on. So I like them to be very noticeable. I mean, I do have long lashes, but they're useless without mascara. They don't even look like long lashes. I like this formula. I don't think it's like as pigmented as the Tower 28 one though. It's nice and like buildable, like it's not dry yet. Like I could easily go in with another coat right now without it being too crunchy. That's nice. I do think it's a thinner formula. It's not overly volumizing. I could see why this won Allure Best of Beauty. It is really nice. I've been eyeing this one for a hot minute and I'm glad that I got it. I am, because I'm so picky about mascaras that if it's not an immediate like love or it does something for me that is kind of different than my other ones, it's going into mascara graveyard. I literally have mascaras that just sit there and never get any love. Even though I think I will, I don't. I just don't go back to them. They end up being the ones that just get passed over for my like top 5 favorites. And that's it. Depending upon whether you want like volumizing or lengthening, it's not like for me with blush where you could give me matte, you could give me cream, you could give me shimmer, you could give me sheen. Like anything, like I have a preference depending upon what kind of day it is. Mascara needs to be the same every time, every time. Okay, there is the left eye. It is done. I did curl my lashes, so yeah, but I think it's curling. I think it's curling. I think it's pigmented enough that it's showing my length, and I think it gave good volume. It's not the most voluminous mascara or volumizing mascara that I have in my collection, but it's nice. And it's a very like thin formula that's easy to work with. So depending upon whether or not it actually doesn't transfer is gonna be, for me, I think just like, does it stay or does it go, you know? But I'm gonna reach for this again. It was good enough that this to me is gonna be one that I think about reaching for. So you guys, like, if you like this effect, it was easy to get. Super, super duper easy. It was very fast. I have no regrets. There's no regrets here. I really like this. I'm glad that I got it. I knew I was gonna like it. I knew it. Okay, here's the update on the concealer. This one is definitely like stickier, even though I said it. So that's probably what it means by radiant. But this one definitely emphasizes more of like, I don't wanna say like it's sinking in, but it's so much drier that it's making my under eyes look dry. And I did go in with 2 layers, and so one of the things I'll have to test is whether or not it looks good with just 1 layer and how that seems to last. But yeah, my under eye looks dry. Like if you guys could see up close, it's just woo. Whereas the one from Valentino, even though it is kind of sinking in, it doesn't look dry. That was everything though. I mean, purple eyes, orange blush. I am not mad at it. Hopefully you're not mad at it. I'm gonna throw on just a lip product so that I feel put together. I'm not going anywhere. But it's the new Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Colors from Makeup by Mario. Man, I see a lot of people ripping on these. And the #1 criticism that I'm hearing and seeing is that they're not long lasting. Like, they immediately slip off the lips, the color fades. You guys, I wore this yesterday, this exact shade, and I went to work. That morning I arrived there at 8:30. It was 10 o'clock, it was still on my lips. Do you see the shine? Like the shine is fine. And the second criticism that I heard was, it looks patchy. But I don't understand that. I don't get the patchiness issues. I think that it goes on really smooth. I see the gloss, and I think the color lasted at least 3 hours for me because I put this on before I left the house, which was like 7. So by the time 10 o'clock rolled around, it had been 3 hours. I don't think it lasted longer than 10, but it did not fade immediately. So maybe there are some shades that just happen to be formulated a little bit differently because of pigment. This one is in the shade Smoky Pink. Never have any issues. I also do have another shade, same thing. I don't get any issues. I think this is a really, really good formula. I think some people are just getting like doo-doo shades or like doo-doo products, and I just didn't get doo-doo. Because some people have said like, oh, it just looks funny right here. No, not me. So good. That was everything. I love it. I love it all. I even loved the bronzer that's in the wrong color. All right, you guys, that is it for me. I will link everything that I went over today in the description box. I will even list this palette there. Hopefully it's back in restock if you're interested in checking it out. If you enjoyed today's video, I hope you give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear in the comments whether or not you've tried some of these, how they've worked for you. If some of them didn't work for you, I'd like to hear that too. Of course, this is my very first impression, so maybe you guys have had more experience trying some of these products. If you are new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing. I'm out of here, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye.